trees. Let's get it. Mark and Will, yeah. Mark and Will, yeah. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another great episode of the Mark and Will Show. And of course, you got your favorite two hosts of the most, Mark and Will. What's going on, my brother?
Oh, man, it's Little Friday. It's Little Friday. So definitely pumped about that. For all you hard workers, you know what that means. Hey, just one more day. And then you can go ahead and enjoy it, man. How you doing, man? How's your day been?
Work. That's all I can say is work.
Right.
How's your day?
I'm with you, man. End of the month. I always got to go ahead and get these clients. But I'm going to tell you what. Today's a very, very special day. And the thing about it, after we talk to our special guest, you're going to find out why. Big time.
Mm-hmm.
We started off with the player of the year. Even though we started the week with that. And we're gonna end it with a champion. Big time. State champion 2 times, baby.
Yeah.
And he's my male high brother. So yes, the brother in his hair, the Bulldogs is here. So, I could have did the legacy. We could have rocked with the legacy, the beginning of this, but the legacy is gonna be at the end. So, we're gonna respect where he's at now and the greatness that he's doing. But we definitely going to end the show with the legacy because, yes, without a doubt. So, look, before we get into that, this supercharge about the show tonight, like always. And also, if you missed last night's show with Kobe Jones, that was great. Wagner High, 6'3", junior. You know what I'm saying? It's greatness. So, go ahead and check that out. And also, real quick, this is where you're going to find everything pretty much at markandwillshow.com is the website. But at Mark and Will Show, period, is Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you don't stop, Instagram. We're on YouTube. We got YouTube Gaming, Mark and Will Gaming. Mark and Will Gaming is also on Twitch. We got the Facebook page, which is definitely right now. Make sure you guys follow. And hit the like. The follow is definitely big because we want to make sure these kiddos get the recognitions and these coaches, and we just want to go ahead and make sure we get it out there to many people as we can. The group, we got the best group, and I'm gonna tell you, players group is very special because each sport has brought a lot, and so we got a lot of sports that's coming up in the fall, and Mark and I is gonna make sure we cover it. But I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know if you're gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be hard pressed to top baseball and softball. Baseball and softball brought it out of close to 8,000 members. Baseball and softball is probably responsible for about 65 to 70% of the members. So they bought it big time. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want to go ahead and do that. Join that group also. Hey, man, it's nothing but fun. Y'all know what we do. We love to do what we do. So also real quick, in case we run out of time, make sure if you have a player, you know what I'm saying, open up for fall sports. So not just football, different schools like we did Wagner, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, we're always going to do PRP and mail. This is not for them. They will be taken care of. But, period. And we show love. As coach, man, we done have Ballard on here every week, pretty much. So we show love. So so make sure you go ahead and just messenger us, player, you know what I'm saying, and that kind of stuff like that, so we can go ahead and schedule some interviews. And coaches, anytime you want to reach out, we definitely get you on here. So let's go on and get this started. Without further ado, we are joined by Coach Jones, Ballard High School softball coach, champion. That's all I got. You know, it took me everything to see what I was going to name this show because it's just that championship ring, the dynasty. There's just so much stuff I could have put on there. But Coach, welcome to the Mark and Will Show. How are you doing?
Well, hey, thanks for having me. No, I'm great. I love you guys' show. I watch it all the time, and I'm only a champion because I have great players. So I've said it 1,000 times. These last 2 years, 75-1, but I'm responsible for all the losses. All the wins go to them, and I only have 1 loss, so I'm happy.
Right. I was going to say, but Coach, you only had 1.
Yeah, only 1, and it's my fault. So, yep, exactly.
Coach, real quick, how long have you been at Ballard and been a softball head coach?
So I've been at Ballard since '99. Prior to Ballard, I started at Wagner in '92 and built that program a little bit. We were slow pitch at the beginning, and in '95 we went to fast pitch. Thank God, because I didn't like slow pitch. I coached fast pitch all my life, and so from '95 and I left there in '98 and went on to Ballard and been there ever since.
For people who do not know, as far as slow pitch, we know, is it a speed limit that the pitch can only throw?
No, it's a certain arch, and you can't steal, and it's, I played slow pitch all my life, so I'm not making fun of slow pitch because it's a great sport, but you watch us play or watch anybody play fast pitch, and it's a fast pace, and it's amazing how many people watch us because they come out and they contribute it going, oh, this is going to be a slow pitch game. And then they watch us and we're done in an hour and 20 minutes. And they're like, wow, that was so exciting because the bases are 60 feet, pitching rubber's 43 feet. So but with Brooke, you're not going to see much hitting and you're not going to see much defense because she strikes everybody out. But on the other side, we've hit the ball great and we got a lot of speed. So you're seeing action when we're up and you're falling asleep when she's pitching. So, yes.
That's a perfect thing to have, right?
Exactly.
Mark, let's go ahead and get it rocking because we got quite a few questions, Coach, that we want to go ahead and ask you.
Yep. So what inspired you to start coaching softball?
It's funny. I got to give a shout out to Coach Wheatley, Sacred Heart. I never wanted to coach girls. Never knew I was going to coach girls. Coach Wheatley and I was best man in his wedding back in '92. He had an opportunity to coach PRP. He's a teacher. He teaches Sacred Heart. He's been at Sacred Heart for years coaching. But back then he's like, hey, they want to see an assistant coach. Can you just act like it? And so I can get the job. I'm like, sure, I'll go out there. So we get out there. When we get out there, he goes, don't say nothing other than what they ask you. I said, okay. Charlie Miller, Russ Klein, 2 top class people. They're awesome. And so after the interview, Charlie says, you got any questions? So, yeah, when do we start? And Bob almost went underneath the chair. And Russ said, well, we got to interview some other people. And they're like, no, we don't. And PRP was awesome. I loved it the month I was there with Bob. There's a couple things. Bob's a great coach. But we just started the insurance agency. So going from the Caton Tire and Breaker and saying the PRP was a haul. But I really liked it. But I couldn't keep doing it because, again, we just started. So, but I wanted to keep going. So Wagner High School right across the street from where my office was. I knew Bob Stewart real well. Walked across the street, said, hey, Bob, I want to coach you softball. And he said, if you're serious, come back tomorrow. I said, I'm serious now. And he goes, Alan, we've been like 4 and whatever for the last 4 years. I said, well, I'll be back tomorrow. So I was back. Bob gave me the job. Make a long story short, we went 17-18 the first year. Again, I didn't know much about slow pitch because I coached fast pitch forever, but I love the girls. The girls, a girl athlete wants to work as hard as any boy athlete or men athlete out there.
Yes.
And they're awesome. And they go over and above, and we've had great athletes since '92 all the way to now. Everybody in my career has helped me get to where I'm at today. It's nothing to do with me. It's all about them. And that's how I got started. I'm glad I did because I love the game. And it's funny because some of my Wagner players now I'm coaching their daughters at Ballard. So it's pretty neat seeing the chain. And, they say I'm a lot softer than I was when I coached them, but it's a different era since now.
That's what I heard, Coach. We done had a couple of players came out here and say that, so I'm not gonna say no names.
Well, it's a different. When I first started coaching, we had an iron 15 minutes to play a slow pitch game. Wow. And so we played at 4. We were done at 5:15, and I went back to the office. And then we got all that changed. I played a big part in getting that Title IX crap because baseball that was right next to us, I don't think they had a time limit. If it was 2 hours.
Right.
So, but it's a great sport. It's a great girls. State champions are great, but it's all about them. And my state championship is when I get to watch India Childs play at Tennessee back in 07 and become an All-American.
Right.
Brooke at U of L, Michaela going to play at U of L, Emory at U of L, Macy at Campbellsville or Transy or wherever she goes. So watching my players leave and go live their dream, that's my ring. And that will always be my ring.
I know that's right. So, I get this question right here, especially someone who's been coaching as long as you. So, what's your favorite drill? Like, what's your favorite drill to run in practice? What kind of, because we got a lot of people who don't know a lot about softball or baseball, and we're trying to educate and get educated ourselves. So, what's your favorite drill to run in practice?
The favorite drill I like, because I'm a defensive guy, so taking two coaches, one on the left side of the plate, one on the right side of the plate, and we're hitting at two players at the same time, and they're throwing to two different bases. And you can get a lot of ground balls, a lot of defense in quick. So, for example, I would hit Tamari at second. She throws to first. Russ is hitting Michaela at short. She's throwing to third. Then we hit the second. Second throws to short. We hit the first. First throws to third. Third throws back to first. Short throws back to second. And you can get a lot. And then we get the pitchers on each side of the rubber. They do their motion. We drill it to them. I can tell you, and any player will tell you, they hate when I run that drill because there's nobody that's hit that ball to them harder than I have ever in a game. So, and you can see their eyes, and it's hilarious. But I love that drill. That's a great drill for defense.
It sounds like that's constant rapid fire right there. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, one word to describe how you feel when you called a game-winning play in a close game.
Rewarding, happy for the players. It's all about the players. So, you just it's funny. We had a ritual. So anytime that somebody made a run at us, I'd call time, walk out, the infield come in, Brooke look at me, and I'd say, all right, here's what's going to happen. You're going to strike out the next player going to pop up, and then we're out of the inning. And 90% of that time, and that was just bull. Just making up, just to relax them. But it was amazing when it happened because you'd see them come off, go, wow. Well, the championship game when they made the run, it was 5-4. I didn't go out there, so they're coming off the field. Instead of coming off the field, going, hey, they just jumped me. They're like, hey, you never came out there. Said, we're good. That was really the first game of the whole postseason I enjoyed. I put a lot of pressure on myself to get them back. And they had to do it, so it wasn't me. Right. But I wanted them to experience because they made it all about me last year because that was my first state championship, which I really appreciated, and I love all my players. But I wanted them to experience it. So on February 15th, I said, you all want to do this again? And they're like, are you crazy? Sure. I said, all right, well, we're going to do whatever it takes. So once I got back, win or lose on the championship game, I knew we were there.
Right.
And I knew they weren't going to let down. With those 7 seniors, they were unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, that's probably one of the best softball teams, not because I coached them, not because they're Ballard, that you'll ever see. And I've seen all of them in the state. And that's going to go down as history, that team.
So, Coach, how did you handle that loss, that one loss on your record in 2 years? How did you handle that? How did you, get everybody focused? Because, like I said, if anybody watched this show, and you should watch it, we have had an array of your players on here, and they answered this question well. So how did you prepare them for this or that one loss?
I was relieved. And I was shocked, too, because afterwards we pulled them together and said, hey, guys, it's over. We set the record. Nobody in my lifetime, and probably your time, is going to win more than 61 games in a row. So you did that. The pressure's off. You still got a target on your back because everybody plays this like it's their state championship.
Right.
But I was shocked because some of the players were in tears. I'm like, what are you being in tears for? I said, the one thing you can use this example by right now is this is how it's going to feel if you don't get refocused and make a run at state. Because if you lose, it's going to feel a whole lot worse than losing the first game in 2 years. And, and hats off to Riley Carter, who's going to be our starter next year. She pitched a great game against the 4th team in the state. Nobody knew that Brooke was home throwing up and sick and not showing up until 10 o'clock the next day. I was even blindsided. I'm like, what are you talking about? So Riley got thrown in the wolves. She did a super job. And Great Crossing was a great team, a very good team. So if we're going to lose, you want to lose to a great team.
Right.
Did we beat ourselves? No, we didn't beat ourselves. They beat us, and they deserved to win. And again, I said, look over at their dugout. Again, you thought they won the state championship. But it was great. I was glad it was over. That's all everybody talked about. And last year, we didn't even know we were undefeated until all the press started showing up. And Dominic Yates, who's awesome in LKY, he pointed out. And the next thing I know, I'm finding out about these rocks. And I'm like, what rocks are we talking about? So this year, we guarded those rocks. Somebody touched those rocks. I was a believer. But, yeah, I was relieved, and I was glad it was over, and it was a great run.
Hold on real quick, Coach. We already got one already asking you. So they asked Coach about when he was building the field back in '99. He said the story about tearing down the dugouts and moving them back, and how mad the guy Jack Collins originally made him. Allen tore the dugouts down and pushed back to the field. It was easier to see. So what's the deal with that?
So when I got to Ballard '99, they had a backstop, no fence. And you had a field hockey, and you had the band director, and you're going to love this story. So when she hired me, everybody said she'll never let you build a field. Miss Allen's the best principal I ever worked for, the best boss I've ever had. God bless her soul. She's still here today, and she's unbelievable. So anyway, she said I could build a field. We didn't go anywhere on spring break, so I put a fence up. So when we put the fence up, that Monday, she called me and said, can you come over here? Well, the band director also his mom was her secretary, and he was throwing a fit. I'm like, you see the parking lot out there? You can march in the parking lot. That's what bands people do. Mm-hmm. So it came down to me or him. She chose me. He left. The secretary left. So then Jack, who was with me at Wagner, I built their field, came over with me. We put the dugouts up. Jack miscalculated. So when you're sitting in the bleachers, you can't see anything. So we had off you gone, boom. We had to explode those things and do them all over again. So that's Jack's son. Jack passed away about 5 or 6 years ago. Jack was awesome, big part of our program, our scorekeeper and everything. But so that's what happened. But so, we Jack helped me build the field. We got a press box. We got a locker room. We got bathrooms. I got an indoor facility. We got everything that any college team has. And I've been very fortunate, but I want my players to focus on practice and playing. We get a lot of people don't like us, but that's okay. I don't care if you like me or not. I'm not here to like people, but I love my players. So, and I had a similar thing at Wagner. We just didn't have the indoor facilities. So
we Coach, we're gonna have to come out there and take some. We got some betting practice out there. They told us about the practice indoor facility like there, the betting stuff. So we're gonna have to come out there and swing. Now we're not gonna do like Dominic. I know Dominic. We're not gonna do like that. We don't want to go against no live. Brooks gone. Gonna be at U of L. We ain't trying to get embarrassed.
Well, we had to slow it down for Dominic so he could hit it. I don't know if you heard me in the video, but the purpose is to hit the ball, Dominic. We got to practice. But he's a great guy. So I said, Brooke, just slow it down for him. Let him at least hit. I think he needs some work on his form, too. But he's a super guy.
Yes, he is.
All the press guys, just like you are, just been awesome to us. And but, yeah, you come out anytime. Once we get the state shirts, I got your 2 XXLs. I got it on my calendar at work. It comes up every day. So I keep snoozing it until we get it. We haven't got them yet.
Okay.
That's making them for us. So.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Do you have any other hobbies that you like doing outside of coaching softball?
I like golfing some. I work out every day at JCC with the trainer. I love lifting. And so that's a lot of fun. So I'd say golfing and working out. I work out every day. It helps get the stress and move away. Even though I had a heart attack in March, but no, I work out every day. I think I love that better than anything. Golf, after I play golf, I got to go to Fortes because my back, I can't move. So,
So, Coach, do you have any advice for inspiring young softball players who want to make it to college?
Absolutely. Dream big, dream realistic. We tell our players this. There's nobody out here that's ever went to UCLA. We did have a former player go to Arizona, Allie Skaggs, unbelievable young lady, and I'm so happy. But dream big, dream realistic. just like batting averages, shoot for something that's unrealistic. We do that in the insurance business all the time in goals. So if you hit half your goal, you're an MVP. Say that you want to bat 700. You're probably not going to bat 700, but if you bat 450, that's way above average.
Right.
So, and live your dream, and don't let anybody squash your dream. The thing about these coaches, and I'm not talking about any high school coach, I'm just talking in general, and how Mummy said it perfect. I was at a conference with him one time, and you can't look at a kid in 7th or 8th grade and say she or he's not very good, because they're still growing.
Right.
Perfect example, Sarah Fraser played for us at Ballard her 8th grade year. And if she's listening, I apologize, but she's heard this story 100 times. She's terrible. So her freshman year, we kept her. And I'm like, well, you're going to keep her, coach? Yeah, because we had a freshman team back then. And I remember going to the freshman game going, who's playing first? Sarah Fraser. There's no way. But she went to the UK. She was unbelievable. So, don't give up on your dreams, and don't let anybody tell you you're not good enough, because you are. And we're always here to help you. I'll help anybody. Just call me. I don't care what school you play for.
Right.
It's all about them, and it's about helping them get to the next level. And it's more than just wins and losses.
Real quick before Mark asks you the question, I do want to say that speaking of that, because I know you have a camp that's coming up. I know it was supposed to be, but then it got rescheduled.
Right.
Right now, especially with this question, talk about this upcoming camp that you got.
Well, we're really excited about it. I've really never had. I don't have a lot of time, so when ball's over, I got to get back to my real job, which is insurance. But the kids are like, "Can we do a camp?" I said, "I'll do a camp if you'll help me." And so they did. So I said, "You know what? We're going to do it free. Open it back up. Just." And we have a lot of support. It was amazing. Like the 8, 9-year-old diamonds, the 10-year-old and 12-year-old diamonds, they'd come to a lot of our games, and they love Brooke and Michaela and Macy and all Emery and a lot of the players. So I said, you know what, let's just give back. We're going to do a 3-hour camp. I'm bringing Salsa Rita in there. We're going to give them free chips and salsa.
Man, I'm going to have to come out there.
Come on. Pam would love to see you. But, and we're just going to have fun. It's going to be 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We did it for 5th graders through 8th grade. I know everybody's thinking I'm doing it to recruit. I look at it this way, and I'm not being cocky. If, we put more players on the next level in high school than any high school in the state of Kentucky for softball, whether it's NAIA, D3, D2, D1, whatever. And that's the other thing that kills me.
Coach, real quick. Could you say that again?
Yes. I said Ballard's put more kids in college, whether it's NAIA all the way to D1, than anybody. You didn't like that?
No, I love that.
That's in softball.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, good. But, so that's, so we're looking forward to seeing these kids. I think we had over 120 coming until it rained. Mm-hmm. So we have a game, because the players are like, what's our game plan? I got the game plan. Just make sure you're there, because I can't do it by myself over 3 people. So it's going to be great. And you know what, these kids, it's great seeing these kids. I don't want to use the word worship, because you only should worship one person.
Right.
That's God.
Right.
But they really look up to these kids, all our players. And so they're going to have a blast, and we're going to have a blast. And hopefully, we get some of those good players to come to Ballard, but we hope so. But it's all about just giving back.
Good. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
So how do you have your players work on a mental game?
So it's funny. I mentioned God. God works in mysterious ways. So about halfway through the season, we won, beat somebody 2-0. I'm not going to say their name. And I was really struggling, because you could tell the pressure of this winning streak and everything. I'm like, we got to get a mental coach, because Cheryl Hart was our mental coach, and Cheryl moved to Michigan. Mm-hmm. So we do FCA every Monday, which is Fellow Christian Athletes. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to our guy, and I said, hey, we need a new person. We haven't prayed and had a Bible study for a while. We need to get him back, because our old one went to Assumption, and it was just a sudden thing, and I wished her the best of luck. In comes Gabby. Gabby starts talking. Gabby's former goalie on the U of L soccer team. Mm-hmm. So Gabby did a great job as an FCA leader, but when she talked, I'm like, that's our mental coach. Mm-hmm. So I pulled her aside. I said, I need you. These girls, I can tell they love you. I need you. So that's how we prepared them, because they get tired of listening to me. They do. Half time they probably don't even listen to me, but Gabby could relate to them about pressure and about staying in a zone. And I think Brooke, I don't know exactly what she's talking about, but Brooke wrote it on her wrist every game. And it was just take one pitch at a time. And, if you strike out, you strike out. Who cares?
Right.
Don't let that strikeout carry on into the field. Don't let it carry on your next bat. When you're playing a great pitcher, you're not going to get a lot of hits. We found that out against Greenwood,
Right.
in the 11th inning game. So that's how we handle it. And Gabby is unbelievable. So we do have a mental coach. We do a lot of things like college. In November, we'll bring them in September and October. We'll work with the next year's team 2 days a week. And then we send them to Corey Taylor, and he really does a great job on running, lifting, and all that. And then just like the colleges do. And then they come back February 15th, they're all ours, and we go 6 days a week until it's time to play. So,
Coach, you got 1,000 wins in 2 years, man. Where you going for that post game meal, man? Where's that spot at? Are you going home? Are you going to a restaurant? What's
so
going
after
on?
we won it,
No,
after we won it,
yeah, this period.
After we won it, I'm really good, and it was a girl's decision. Like, hey, where do you want to go? Gustavo's. So hats off to Gustavo. I own a restaurant in Norton Commons, and you're going to laugh, but it's an Asian restaurant. I know I'm not Asian. I wanted the building, so I bought the restaurant. And it's called Tea Station Asian Bistro in Norton Commons. Well, Gustavo has a place in Norton Commons, and we're really close. So I said, hey, Gus, it's Saturday. I got 70 people. Can you get us in? He goes, yeah, come to Norton Commons. Not only did he get us in, and we had a great time, but he wouldn't let me pay either.
Right.
That's just the type of guy Gustavo is. So
right.
That was our celebration meal. It was awesome. The players had a great time. The parents had a good time, if you know what I mean.
I bet.
Had a really good time.
Margarita.
Yeah, they did. They had a great time. A lot of birthdays.
I bet. And Coach, you talk to two guys who love Asian cuisine, so
it's on me. Come on,
I'm gonna have to get the name of Mark and I got to come out there and visit your place for real.
Kendall Haskins was just there with his girlfriend last Friday and said he loved it. So please come. It's on me. You'll love it. Everything we do is fresh, including all our sauces. So
you know what? I'm gonna get my brother Kendrick. He always beat me right to the punch, and so the next time you see Kendrick, remind him that he started at Male High School.
I will.
Okay.
Everybody started Male High School.
All my
life, I want to be a bulldog, rough. Yep, remember that?
Yes, sir.
What's been your proudest moment as a coach so far?
Watching these players live their dream and live on and play on the next level, or become CEOs or big executives or great moms. Just living their dream, that what they want to do in life. That's the proudest moment for me, because I look at all these players that I've had since '92 as daughters. And to this day, I'm still really good friends with a bunch of them. I get Christmas cards from them. I love talking to them. I'll do anything for them. I've had some of them work for me in the insurance business. So that's my proudest moment, and will always be.
Right. And also, Coach Jones knows the mayor. Brandon Cosby. Yes. Knows the mayor.
He's awesome.
Yes, he is. So, Coach, who is your favorite coach? What coach do you like watching or that you learned from?
That's a great question. Coach Rice, who is my dad's best friend, who's passed away, he coached me all through Linden, and I went on and played on the All-Star team at St. Matthews. We went to state with Vince Starry and all those good guys. I'd say Coach Rice. Coach Rice was that coach that got in your face, pushed you. I coach a little bit like him. I'm not an easy coach to play for. I'll push you. I'll get in you, but I'll also hug you and pat you on the back when you do it right. But you got to know you can't do that to every player. So every player is different, But I'd say Coach Rice. Coach Rice was a big mentor of mine, and he taught me a lot, not only on the physical side, but on the mental side, like Mark asked earlier. So, yeah, shout out to if Dave Rice's family's watching. He was awesome.
So what's the best piece of advice anyone has ever given you coaching softball?
enjoy the game when you when you don't enjoy it, you need to get out. It doesn't mean you can't be upset when you lose or scratching your head because you can't figure out what's going on. But once you lose a love for the game, to get out. And I can't imagine I'll ever lose a love for the game. Next year is going to be a huge challenge. I love a challenge. Please tell me I can't go back to state because I love proving people wrong. And we're going to go back to state. Riley Carter's ready. Michaela's ready. Katie's ready. Lily's ready. You know, we got a great outfield. We had the best outfield, probably one of the best I've ever had. So that's going to be hard to replace. You're not going to replace Emery Donaldson. Right. And I will say this. If Emery's not starting in the outfield for UK, somebody needs to go talk to that coach. She's a great infielder, but you put your speed in the outfield, and she is going to be the best outfield that UK's ever had. And if she's not, good luck.
Ooh, I love it.
I'll probably get a text later on that, but I don't care.
That's right. I love that. Oh, my gosh. You threw me off. You threw me off. So, Coach, to you, what do you think makes a good coach?
Compassion, listening. It's not your way all the time. It's, you know, and we do that a lot. And I've learned that a lot. I mean, I'm not the same coach I was in 92 today. Probably older, smarter, not as cocky. I mean, when I first got into it, I was kind of like a drill sergeant. And it was a different type of air than with a different player. But, you know, we have talks all the time going, hey, guys, what do we need to do? We were struggling hitting. What do we need to do? And they were like, well, can you quit talking to us at third when we're in the play? I'll quit. Didn't quit altogether, but I quit. But, you know, I think it's important because if they feel like you're giving back what they're asking you to give, that's huge. And I think a lot of coaches don't do that. And you'll lose them. I mean, once you lose these kids, you'll lose them. And I've unfortunately had that. I mean, I coached my youngest daughter. If I could ever take that back again, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because it hurt our relationship. I was too hard on her. And I didn't want everybody thinking she was only playing because she was my daughter.
Right.
But looking back, it was wrong. And so with our experience, that's helped us going forward with these other players. But, you know, Macy's a different type of player than Emery or Michaela and all that. They're all different.
Right.
So you got to give and take. But they got to know you love them. And they can call me about anything at any time, and I'm here for them. So, but you got to listen to your players. And it's not your way all the time. Trust me.
Hold on. We got another one. I think you're familiar with this. Your sister said you're doing a great job. Go Bulldogs. You know,
he's a Bulldog. She played basketball. She graduated from Mel in 87.
Okay. She was there when my sisters was there. Okay, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So what's one of your favorite play calls?
I love stealing. I'm very aggressive. So as you can see, I think we set the record. Somebody said for the most steals in the state tournament, really back to back. I love stealing. So any calls, I love pickoff plays, and I love stealing. And the big pickoff play we had, Eastern had bases loaded first inning of the regional final. I knew we could pick that girl off at third, and we did. And you talking about that was just about as big as winning the regional. So that was awesome. I think I almost I put Katie in a headlock if you saw me in the videos because she did a great job and Lily did too. But I would say definitely the pickoff plays and stealing.
That's good. Coach, what do you think is the biggest challenge in softball?
The biggest challenge in softball, I think our sport has grown so big now. I think we're almost there with baseball. I wish they would quit telling us, you know, we got a minute to get ready. So in between innings, we get a minute. Baseball gets 25 minutes. I mean, you go to the restroom, get a Coke, get a popcorn, and come back. They still warming up. So I wish they would back off on us a little bit on the time because, again, two good teams are going to get done in an hour and a half max. Right. Especially we got two good pitchers. But softball's came a long way. It's. I mean, you see it in the Olympics. You see it on the World Series and ESPN. You know, the thing about it, though, if you look at baseball on ESPN, they had 4 channels, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and SEC for the regional and super regionals.
Right.
You had 2 for the girls regionals and super regionals. Now they're going to disagree with me, but they can disagree with me all they want because I was trying to find the super regional game when the baseball regional's going on. I had to go to Roku. So, but I think we're starting to get a lot more respect. I'm not talking about Title IX. That's over with and done.
Right.
But there's not a better sport, it's not because I coach it, than girls softball. And there's not a better athlete than a girl athlete.
I'm gonna tell you this real quick before we go to the next question. Mark and I, we always have conversations and things like that. And I told him, I said, "Hey, Mark, you haven't seen nothing yet until we start covering this baseball and softball." And I said, and then I said, and softball is really something. This watch. I said, you're gonna see, and I'm gonna tell you, the parents has not let us down one bit. And and we always, like I said, we always talk, and I enjoy watching. You know what I'm saying? The softball, the women's sports, anyway. Period. And like you said earlier, they practice just as hard. They want it just as much as their counterpart. And so I'm glad you pointed it out, on certain things, because it's true, big time.
Well, you said something too just a second ago. Parents. If parents aren't bought into you as coaches, it's tough because how parents are. And we've had, even at Wagner, we've had the best parent group ever. You've had some struggles. Some parents think their kids are great, boom, 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 boom. And that's everybody. But for the most part, like the last 2 years and even way before them, we've had great parents. And that's a huge part of our success too. Because when mom and dad are on your side, I don't mean on your side, but, when they buy into what you're doing. Because again, if you watch me coach, it's hilarious when we go play somebody. Somebody will come over to one of our parents and go, "You got to be crazy for letting your daughter play for him." But they don't know me.
Right,
They
right.
know me, and it's funny. But I think, all those big teams at Mel, all the great football teams and basketball teams, it all starts at home.
Right.
Because mom and daddy don't appreciate you. Good luck. But we've had great parents groups. So, a lot of people's played a big part in his success, all the way down to the field guy that takes care of our field every day before practice and games.
Cool.
How do you manage pressure during games?
This is how I do pressure. I bet I drink 10 bottles of water a game. I check my Facebook page once every inning. So I got a ritual. There's one of my players, Caitlin, sits there. I sit down. She hands me my phone. I look at it real quick, hand it back to her. And then every pitch that Brooke pitches, I take a swing of water, and that calms me down. And I think in the Greenwood game, I beat my record. I drank 16 bottles of water because we went 11 innings.
Oh, my God.
We ran out of water. So they're like, "We got no more water." I said, "Take it into the bathroom and fill it up in the sink. Hurry up. They're getting ready to play." So that's how I handle pressure because I'm not superstitious, but I got a big ritual. Next year, I'll probably be drinking 20 bottles a game. But that's how I handle pressure. But, my dad told me a long time ago, he said, "Son," because I always asked my dad, he coached for 35 years, and he won on every sport he coached. And I was like, "Dad, you never get nervous." He said, "Son, if you're prepared, you should never be nervous. The only reason you should be nervous is you're not prepared." And I've really kept that all these years. But I get nervous. So I eat a Snicker bar before a game, and I wait till we get ready to hit that first pitch. I eat that, and again, I drink water like it's coming. You would think we got 5,000 bottles of water in the dugout. So that's not under pressure.
So, Coach, being that, I'm saying, like, I had a question is about way games, but are there really a lot of true home field advantage besides, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Really?
and I know that, what I'm saying, that, like we talk about the parents, the crowd and things like that. So, especially when you guys are everybody's Super Bowl. So how do you guys handle the away games? Because like you said, they may not average a lot of people before you guys come, but everybody got you circled, and okay, everybody's there. So how do you guys handle away games?
You know, it's funny. Away games are like a lot of home games because we have a great. And this is before the last 2 years.
Okay.
You know, we'll get a lot of people come away games. Now, if they're really, really away, they don't. But you know, we talk about let's focus on us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care about anybody else. We don't care about who we're playing. Focus on us. And I think that takes the pressure off a lot of times. Also, you got to make the girls feel comfortable. We never talk about our opponent. We warm up just like we warm up, no matter who we're playing. We get on the bus. We get our Jimmy Johns or whatever they get pregame on the way, and then we don't talk about it. We never talk about it. I've learned over the years when you've hyped up somebody on an away game or a home game, it bites you.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a coach, you have to stay calm because if they see me uptight, unfortunately, they react a lot on me. And I've tried to change that, but I'm a very active coach. You'll see me jump in the air. You'll see me grab my players, high five them. You'll see me go crazy if it isn't going right. So you got to, I have to stay calm. But, you know, just like the state tournament, I got 2 buses. We had a bus for us and I had a bus for the student section. So we had 50 kids on the bus every day going to Lexington.
Right.
So it was
great.
like a home game. But, yeah, we just focus on ourselves. We never talk about our opponent. And I think that helps because, you know, when you hype up something, it's probably the worst thing you can do because if you do fall behind, it's a letdown. And that's the same thing when people come to us and you know it's a big game and you watch them warm up and you're like, man, you've never seen them warm up this good. And then you jump on them, they're done. Because they put all that energy into that and then you just killed it.
Right. You're right.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about softball?
That it's slow. It's for anybody can play it. It's slow pitch for the people who hadn't seen it. They don't realize it's as tough as a game as baseball. When, like, for example, Brooks throwing 62, 63, that's 96 miles an hour coming at you 43 feet away.
Right.
You know, plus you got to spin on the ball, which people don't realize till you get there. If you saw Brooke Gray warm up, and I would be the same if I was an opposing coach, she doesn't look like she's going to be that dominant. But then you get in there and it's like, good luck, guys. I had a pitcher at Wagner in 95, Christina Cable. She threw 43 miles an hour as a slingshot pitcher, which means she didn't do the windmill. She just took it back to do it. Well, I remember us playing Sacred Heart one time, not Bob Wheatley. So, Bob, if you're listening, it wasn't your team. You weren't there yet. And I remember the coach saying when I walked to the restroom before the game, we're going to kill her. We beat her 11. We beat them 11-0 because you could tell her to put that ball right there anywhere. And she did it. That's the same thing as most good pitchers. It's not the speed, it's the spins. So I think that's the big misconception because when people has never seen any game or any softball that we played and they show up, they're back the next game because they say, wow, that's exciting. You're seeing a lot of baseball umps get smart. They're leaving baseball to come to softball. It's the same pay, but you're done in an hour and a half versus 3 hours.
Right.
So, and I think that's a big thing about everything. So,
wow. Yeah, that's good stuff. So, Coach, what do you think sets softball apart from other sports?
I think ESPN has. I think colleges has. I think the awareness that got out. I think we've helped. I think Mel's helped. I mean, let's be honest. The last 8-9 years, it's been the Mel Ballard show. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bloomer's done a great job before he left Mel.
Right.
Assumption's really good. They're on and off, but it's really been us and Mel. And I think the publicity that we're getting, I think watching on ESPN when you see the Girls College World Series and regionals. I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, it was hard to find a regular season game in softball. Now, every weekend, it's huge once basketball's over with. Right. So I think that's really helped our sport. I think that's been big time. You know, you got national magazines. We really wanted to play that team from Texas, and I had them on my schedule in November. I called the coach and said, let's play. You know, you guys are undefeated. We're undefeated. We had it all set. We're going to fly down there in May, and she called me back and said, can you do February? Well, she knew we didn't start until February 15th. And the thing about them being number one in the country, which congratulations to them, they lost in the state tournament. but they were double elimination. We were not.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So, but anyway, they have a great team, and she's going to be a great pitcher too. But no, I just think ESPN and shows like this, you all really help bring awareness out. Like you said, baseball and softball has been a ton of your shows now.
Yes.
And it's been awesome. And everybody knows you. You know, I got 50 calls today going, hey, I see that you're on the Mark and Will show. So that's a compliment to you. They all know who you are. So you're going to be big time one day and have your big show. You'll probably be on ESPN, have your own segment. Don't forget the little guys, but it's going to be great.
Coach, you be on there just with us. We got to have Coach with us without a doubt.
I love it. And I'll also provide you Chinese food too. So
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Coach, what drills do you think are essential to developing a player?
I think you got to get them throwing right off the bat. If they don't have good throwing mechanics, they're going to get hurt, and that's huge. I mean, when they're 5 and 6 and 7 years old, that's when you have to make sure that their throwing mechanics are correct. They're receiving the ball correct. For the hitting is not hard. You can teach hitting at any age, but if they can't throw and catch by the time they get to 10, 11, or 12 or 13, it's kind of hard. Because now you get the fear factor where here comes a ball coming at you. I think without a doubt, the throwing mechanics is the most important thing that a player needs to learn at a young age. And then after that, you can teach them anything.
So, Coach, being that, this question right here, like what defines a successful season for a team in your opinion? And granted, we know state championship, not everybody's blessed to do what you've been doing, but just want your opinion on it. Like, what defines a successful season for a team?
I think a successful season, watching your players improve and get better. 2019, I talk about it all the time, and they're like, are you ever going to talk about us? 2022, 2023? Yeah, when you leave. But 2019, we were rebuilding from a great year, 2018. We went to state. We lost 5 or 6 seniors. They all went D1, D2. NAIA. So we had to replace our whole outfield. We had new pitchers. We had to bring in a new catcher. We had to do everything. And, I went home many a nights. I was up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning watching game film, hidden films, everything going, what are we going to do? And that team went 28-12, and we lost Assumption in the semifinals. We would have never beat Mel if we would have beat Assumption. That's the year Mel went undefeated and won it. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the most, I hate losing. I hate losing with a passion. But that was one of the greatest. When we walked off the field, I said, guys, I'm proud of you. I know you didn't get to state, but you overachieved more than any team we've ever had, because these players were, and no disrespect to anybody, when we got them, they were average. They went from average to very good at the end. And then that helped us in 2021, because 2020 we didn't have a year because of COVID. Right. That's when we got Brooke and Macy and Emery and all them in, even though Emery plays the 7th grader. So that really helped because they overachieved. Then in 2021 with the same players, we went to the state tournament that year. So I'd say not winning a championship is the most satisfying. Just watching these kids get better and better and better. And that's what was so satisfying for me. And it will always be satisfying for me. There's a lot of teams, as you know, that have all the talent in the world don't win.
Right.
A lot of things have to happen. You got to get a lot of luck to win. And, we've had a lot of breaks. The Greenwood break in the 11th inning twice was huge.
Snickers and water bottles don't hurt, right?
Exactly.
So, Coach, what do you think makes a great softball player?
Determination, hard work, doing stuff when you're not practicing. We preach that all the time. If we have video cameras in the red building, that's our hitting facility. And it makes me proud as ever when I'm sitting at church and I get a ding on my phone. I look at it, I'm like, wow, there's 4 players up there. So what we started doing was leaving communion cups for them on Sunday, because Kirsten Smith would come up there, Michaela would come up there and all that. So to see them work on their own is what makes them successful. You're not going to be great working 2 hours a day, 5 days or 6 days a week. And all of our players took that advice, and they're constantly up there. Now they're not up there now. It's a dead period, so don't anybody go crazy. But they'll be up there as soon as July 10th hits. And I mean, there's a ton of them that work on their own, or they go up in groups. So that's what makes it successful. Just like anything in life, work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can work 9 to 5, but if you're trying to get on top, your 9 to 5 is not going to get it. You know, especially in our business in the insurance industry, and we preach that all the time. Coaching is just like selling; it's the same thing. You don't worry about what anybody thinks. You got to take no for an answer. You got to be used to getting beat,
Right.
but you get right back up and keep going and keep making those calls. And that's how I do the insurance business as well as I do the coaching. It's the same thing. So,
cool, Coach. How much, as far as you've been doing this for a while, and and definitely as a former player, baseball and football, like how much film work is done now?
a ton. Mainly for the coaches, myself mainly. I watch a lot of game film afterwards. I'm up here late at night a ton to watch swings and stuff. But I've learned, I had a great Tennessee's coach and I are really good. We're very close. And Ralph told me a long time ago, Alan, you can show them their bad swings, but guess what you're going to get? The bad swings. So show them the good swings. So Kevin's our video guy. So I will constantly be texting them their good swings, their good hits, because it's positive reinforcement.
Right.
So we do a lot of that. We do a ton of that. Pitchers, Brooke loves seeing her games a ton. So we're constantly sending her pitches. Michaela and all of them want to see their hits. And they also want to see when they struggle. But I rarely send them when they struggle, because you don't want that in their mind that, hey, I'm dropping my hands, I'm dropping my hands, I'm dropping my hands. Look at this ball. You went straight to the ball. That's what you need to focus on. So, yeah, again, it's just like college. College, they have film sessions, they have everything. We do exactly like they do. And again, it takes a mountain to build this. So it's not me, it's everybody.
Right.
But we've been very successful when they go to college. I mean, India walked right into Tennessee, and he's like, she's one of the few players we ever had that could just jump right into this. So she's awesome. She's awesome.
All right. So coaching as long as you've been coaching, what would you say some of your weakness would have been?
Not listening, my way or the highway, not thinking before I spoke. I still do that a little bit. I would say that. I would say, jumping the gun and not thinking. And I've got better at that over the years. When I started coaching, I was 26 years old. So I was still playing some slow pitch and stuff.
Right.
And I came from coaching 8, 9, 10 boys fast pitch, and we dominated at Linden. I mean, I started when I was 19 years old coaching. Everybody hated us. We were the Phillies. And, and we just dominated. Nobody knew how to stop us on delayed steals and all that. And I took that same thing into Wagner in 95. Because when we went to fast pitch in 95, you only had Manuel around here that was, and us, because we had a lot of Linden players, and J-Town was good. Southern was really good. PRP was decent. So you kind of took that cockiness with you, not realizing you're not playing 8, 9, or 10 anymore. You're playing kids that can really get it done. So probably the stubbornness and not listening. I learned a lot. You got to let these players talk to you and listen to them. And I think they know I do. And sometimes I take their advice, sometimes I don't. But when you do, more and more, because let's just be honest, today's world is totally different than in 94, 95.
Yes.
You got a lot of people don't want to work. You got a lot of people feel sorry for themselves. You got a lot of people, it's all about me. And we really work with developing these kids to say it's not about just you. Brooke will tell you to this day, she didn't do all of this because of her. She did it because she had great players around her, and she worked hard, and she is the best pitcher in the country. But she had a lot of help, and that's what's so awesome about her. Everybody's like, and our team never got tired of hearing about all her accolades, because they know the type of person she is, because she's awesome. Right. But no, I've learned more. Plus, I'm 57 years old, so I'm barely can walk. But yeah, just listening more.
But you know what? And shout out to Brooke because she was the first Ballard Bruin to come on this show, and she did it. She was, I think, Mark, when she was traveling, she was actually
Yep.
doing travel ball, and
Yep.
made time to come on the Mark and Will show. Then won the championship, did her things, and so. When people are like, well, you haven't had Brooke. Yes, we have had Brooke on there, and she's one of our favorites on the show. But we want to make sure that everybody else gets their accolades too. We love some Brooke, so shout out to Brooke big time, and we'll never forget that took her time out to talk to us. So, Coach, what are some of your strengths, man? Go on a break. This you can brag about yourself now. What's some of the strengths?
I think strength. I don't ever give up. And I love when we've had players and coaches and other people say she can't play short, she can't play second. Oh, she's going to. I think that I never quit on a kid. I will never quit on a kid. If a kid is struggling, and we've had this where kids are struggling in school, guess what? We're all going to study skills before practice. So I think if I had any success, or my biggest thing is I believe in all my players, and they all come from different type of families and so forth, and different type of. They're not all in the Ballard district; they're all over the city.
Right.
So, and I think that's my biggest strength is just being here for them and giving them the opportunities to go on the next level. And if you tell me you want to go to UCLA, I'll do everything I can to get you to UCLA. That's my strength.
Right.
And I'm believing in my players, and I believe in every one of them. And there's been, it's amazing because there's some players I butted heads, and 10 years later, they're like, call you up out of the blue, which makes you feel great. Say, hey, you were right. I don't want to be right. I wasn't right. You just weren't ready to hear it yet. And now look at you. So I think that's one of my biggest traits.
Coach, before we get you out of here, it would be appalling for me not to go back into memory lane. Back when you was doing your thing as a Bulldog. Please let everybody know what sports you play and
baseball,
what position.
Football.
What position you play?
Receiver, played some QB, but Mel was awesome. I had a great time at Mel. We were the first traditional class when we showed up. I showed up, made some great friends all over the city because we weren't in a district. Mr. Beam was the best principal I've ever had. I can't thank him enough. I know he's passed away, but he's been a big impact in my life. All the players, the students that we grew with a big bond of friendship. Mel's a great school. And, Mr. Beam called me in 2012. I was laying in bed. It was 6 o'clock at night. I wasn't sleeping. I just watched a football game. And the phone rings, and it was Mr. Beam and John Kelsey. And I remember Mr. Beam going, it's time for you to come home. I said, well, I am at home. I'm laying on the bed watching a game right now. He goes, no, Alan, we really want you to come to Mel. And I really appreciate that. That was awesome. But having kids, 5 minutes away from the school and stuff, and what I built at Ballard, Mel would have definitely been my next choice if I didn't go to Ballard. But Mel's a great school, and I always wish them the best, and I'm always here to support them. And it was the best 4 years of my life in high school.
Coach, you're about to make me cry, man. Dang. Hey, he was my principal too. And yes. And you know what? That right there lets me know that my school recognized greatness. You know what I'm saying? Because even though you was building and taking care of business at Ballard, that's a call that you have to make without a doubt. So much love and much respect because, you know what I'm saying, you doing your thing. Ballard is a juggernaut, and not just in Kentucky, in the nation. So, we want to, Mark, go ahead and hit him with the last statement that we do.
Yes, sir. This is the time we give our guests the floor to thank everyone who's always been in their corner.
I have to thank my parents. I have to thank my family. I have to thank my coaches. I have to thank my parents. But most importantly, I got to thank my players. I would not be here if it wasn't for great players from 92 on. And they mean the world to me. I love them to death. I love hearing about their success and what they're doing in life. And so a big shout out has to go to my players because, again, without great players, I wouldn't be here. And they're awesome. Whether we had a losing season or great season or whatever, every one of them will always have a place in my heart forever.
Coach, this won't be the last time you be on the show. Without a doubt, definitely will be communicating with you, and much love to you. And, you know, it's nothing like having, you know, not just a championship coach, things like that, but a real leader. And what you're doing and what you have done with the Ballard program is greatness, and we know that it's going to continue. And so you're always welcome back on the show. And plus, you know, you're a former Bulldog, so you know you got it in no matter what.
I gotta be on it. Exactly. No, but you guys got a great show. And I can't thank you enough because you've really, really got our sport out even more in the community. Everybody talks about you all, and I wish you all the best of luck. If I can help you, let me know. We would, T-Station, love to give you some type of sponsorship, and I'm serious. And I also will have your double XL shirts if we ever get them from Under Armour. So, but I got them.
We're definitely going to try to come out to that your camp, Coach, and check you guys out. And this relax and everything else. But thank you for joining us tonight, Coach. We really appreciate you.
Yes. Well, thank you, and I wish you all nothing but the best. God bless.
God bless.
Appreciate it.
What can you say?
Right?
Can't say nothing else, right? we gotta end it, right? We gotta end. Hey, yeah, that's another banger. Like Absolutely. We do. Thank you, Coach Jones. Woo wee. But you know what I'm gonna end it with? That legacy.
Yes, Wednesday night, tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Mel and PIP's in on this legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night, tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.